Welcome to a new video. Thank you for watching. I've been having things on my mind, and this play of separation is very convincing. So we go out in this world, we think we're separate from everybody, we think you have to live a certain way according to the constructs that are already existent. Consequently, what happens? You go into conflict with people that resonate on another level. You think, at least you believe you have to be in conflict with people that don't resonate on the same level as you. So it all has to come down to values. What do you value? So society, which is our mind projected out, shapes our beliefs and our values differently. One person might value another thing and another person might value another thing. If a person values hard work and being self-sacrificial is the norm to be that, and if another person has self-love and values being peace over being in conflict and in needing all the time, then those two persons go into conflict. And this is what happens inside our minds. Go in conflict with different paradigms. Like the levels of energy, you go into conflict with other colors. There is no resolve because you cannot expect people to transcend their programming. They are a certain frequency and they are perfect as they are. Everyone is perfect. And it's just a matter of dissonance, non-resonance that happens. So then you encounter people that haven't awakened yet, or they find value in something else. They have this whole other worldview. They think the universe is not out. They think the universe is out there to get them. And then you have this new perspective, new paradigm. The universe is working in your favor and everything helps. Everything is working in your benefit always. And everyone helps you to become more aware, and you become the observer. When two different paradigms collide, it often turns into conflict. So what do you do? Esoterically, the most important thing is your energy. And it is especially your emotional energy which is most important. Every construct, which means every person who is operating on a certain bandwidth, a certain paradigm, wants to be validated. They want your emotional energy in order to validate their worldview, their lifestyle, because that's truth to them. When they encounter someone that doesn't subscribe to the same ideology as they have, then there is a dissonance. There is a misunderstanding. Your frequency, the way you are, is perfectly reflected outwardly. Perfect. It's perfect. Which means every single one of you is perfect. In frequency, you perfectly are vibrating, oscillating in a way that projects a certain reality outward. So you create the perfect circumstances, the perfect opportunities, the perfect things that resonate exactly with your frequency. This means that everyone is right. Everyone, their truth is right. It's just a matter of focus. That's why you have people, they can pick out all the negative things. They don't appreciate the positive in others or even their own lives. Then they become miserable and project outwardly that life is hard. And yet, they fail to appreciate the things that did come to them. Focusing on the negative is a paradigm. It's just a habit. It's a frequency. There is actually no negative. There are just things happening all the time. That's what non-duality is about. Non-separation. There's only one. Everything is frequency. And every frequency corresponds with a certain reality. That's why you have people that have to work so damn hard to get their needs met. Because they believe in that construct. It's resonance. They would rather hang out with people on the same wavelength to validate their paradigm. Then you have other people to which everything comes easily. They're just lucky. They're just lucky. They are operating on a different frequency. And they can get things done that no one else can get done. People call them lucky. No, it's your frequency. It has nothing to do with your age, with your race, with your meat suit. It's your frequency. I've also noticed that if you emit a different frequency, you are very light. Those paradigms will get into conflict with you because they simply do not understand you. So this is an important lesson. You never can make certain paradigms understand you in a deep way you understand yourself, because you have done the inner work and inner self-reflective work. You've seen your own patterns. You've questioned your own reality, your own belief systems, and you shifted many times. You've awakened. Some don't get that privilege. Some are just born in their construct and they will die with that construct forever. It is very unique that you can get out of a certain construct that you have been born in. Not everyone in this game is meant for that. So the people who are meant for that are seen to the lower paradigms, or, well, it's not lower, it's not a value judgment. Different paradigms, less aware paradigms, which means less consciousness, more projection, more density, more programming, less compassion, less empathy. Talking about those lower dimensions, if you operate from that construct, it means that if you see a person who is living in being, in peace, who doesn't get as stressed about the so-called outer things, who doesn't behave like a slave to the 3D world and to their senses, they think they are irresponsible, lazy, just being. What do you mean just being? You have to be a productive slave, just like us, suffer with us, otherwise you're irresponsible. They fail to realize that by being peace itself, you have such an important, way more important contribution to society than perpetuating the cycle of suffering that you are all operating in. Working an 80-hour job for a toxic company that pollutes the earth makes you a bad person, because you perpetuate your old cycles. You bring generational trauma and don't break it. You're not transforming, and yet you bully the higher frequency people, facilitating change. Only seeing the bad. Oh, you are to blame. You are bad. I'm worried about you. Are you? You see, you can never explain topics of awareness or the immaterial or esoteric concepts to those people, because they will not grasp it. They are just preoccupied with the materialistic. They think that's a means to an end. And yet, observing neutrally, where's the fulfillment? Where's the happiness? It's nowhere to be found. Another point. It is important to not create division with anyone. In your mind, you are okay with everyone. You don't argue in your mind with anyone, because that's reality creation right there. There's no point in arguing or having conflict or anything if you have such different worldviews that there's no point of resolution. That's also pointing to a split in consciousness. So you split like oil and water. When you have such a different view of life and others cannot comprehend, they start to become threatened and triggered. If you become a lighthouse, they start to project the worst things possible onto you because you challenge their worldview. You get name-called, worries, so-called. No. It's a completely selfish behavior of the ego. Because if an ego that you are strongly identified with cannot see things from another perspective, from another point of view, and it doesn't even have an interest in listening or opening up to new perspectives, that means you're stuck in your own programming, in your box. There's no point arguing. There's no point defending. It's the point of just observing and being aware. I see a lot of things going around on the internet that create division. So you have politics, you have females versus males. But you know what the truth is? It's your own intuition. Being sovereign in yourself and knowing what's right. When something doesn't feel right, your body will tell you. You will feel it. A healthy person also sees themselves as valuable. You are valuable for existing. And with that value, inherent value, that wholeness in itself, you naturally start expressing your natural value that you have. Your talents. Your gifts. You won't be sitting still. You won't be passive. You share your talents, your communication skills. You share your service. Why? Not to expect some narcissistic supply back. Not to expect some validation back and then become resentful when you don't get enough. You give unconditionally because you have self-worth. And it's not dependent upon the reaction of other people. You give unconditionally. People that give conditionally will give and use anything that they've given you against you. That's a frequency of victimhood, victim consciousness. You are separate from me. I need to get from you, and I need your precious validation. I own you now because I gave you something. And you have to change into something I want, and you have to keep giving me energy and validate my perspective and existence. You can be a person of your own because I've given you something. I would recommend you stay out of any energetic contracts with that because you don't need them. Especially when someone thinks they have a hold over you. They think you owe them your life force. You owe them an explanation or justification. Get away from them because you don't need that. Just keep on being in the now, keep creating from your heart, keep giving from your heart. Because those projections are just there to challenge your self-worth again and again. You created them. You are also a creation, so don't listen to your own thoughts either. Your own thoughts are also wrong. Your own opinions are wrong. My own opinions about situations are wrong because it's just one tiny perspective. I can understand everyone's perspective. I know where it comes from. I also understand my character perspective, but I don't identify with it. Which brings me back to the point that everyone is perfect, because everyone is frequency and a perfect reflection of their frequency is projected into their reality. There truly is only the now moment, and the way out of lower consciousness is to stop justifying yourself, just stop justifying your existence to anyone. Stop taking blame. You're not to blame. You did nothing wrong. You did the best you could at the level you were at, frequency-based. And others too. They did their best at the way they, in fact, they acted perfectly according to the frequency they emitted. So stop arguing with your own creation. Everything is perfect. They are perfect. You were acting perfectly to the best of your ability. Because this is a perfect universe. Frequency-based. Problem is when you identify with this persona that's just an illusion. Mind identification. Everything is perfect. You always have what you need. And you take every moment, every circumstance, everything that happens as an opportunity to become more aware of yourself and of others. And then you merge your perspectives and you see all the perspectives for what they are. So every perspective of every person is valid because it's true, a true perspective. But it doesn't mean you have to subscribe to their perspective. You can create your own perspective. In fact, if you're watching me, you have created your own perspective and transcended all that. Once you know the nature of reality, which is everything is one, everything is here now, the striving stops. You get out of the hamster wheel, the rat race. You stop looking for outcome happiness. You stop escaping your terrible now moments to go to holidays. You are just present and peaceful in the now. You stop attaching to persons or people because you don't inherently need them. But you can go into an energetic contract with them and play a game together. That's up to you. I would recommend you only go into contracts with people who resonate on the same frequency. The other thing is a recipe for disaster, and it won't work anyway. You split like oil and water. There has to be at least a sufficient amount of awareness and compassion on both perspectives, on both sides, to be able to have a harmonious connection. People that can self-reflect and not project all their past, which is an illusion, onto others. They feel so miserable because they have subscribed to that construct their whole lives, and they believe in trauma, they believe they have to hold on to the past. They don't know that the now moment is the ultimate power of transformation, which you can let go of everything in the present moment. Because it's what you do now, what you are being now matters. If you're still with yourself, everything that comes up, you identify from it, and it will be worth it. Because then you finally feel calm. That's your natural state. Calmness, peace. Surrender to the present moment. The way to get your desired reality is also to not be emotionally manipulated by the 3D anymore, because the 3D doesn't have an inch of power over you. It has zero power over you. Your state is the power. The way you look at things is the power. Your perspective is the power. And when you are able to see multiple perspectives and hold them in your consciousness, then you become whole. And I've had client sessions, heard it times and times again. Business owners, millionaires, keep chasing and chasing, never feeling fulfilled. So clearly, outer circumstances aren't the answers. It's your emotional stability that's the answer. Being emotional stable in the world of 3D, in the forms changing, knowing what to give your energy to and what not, is the ultimate answer. So the focus of your emotional energy is on gratitude and knowing you are the one. Everyone, to be sovereign. You are it. You are it. The answer is you. It's so cliche. I'm also not a guru. You're not dependent on me. That's the least thing I want to do. That's the last thing I want to do. This is an expression of my value, what I've known, and you share this without expecting something in return. That's unconditional love and unconditional giving, because giving is receiving. Whatever you give, money-wise, energy-wise, resource-wise, service-wise, you will receive. And if it's conditional, you will become resentful, and that's a bad state of energy. Never give if it doesn't feel okay. Never give if it doesn't feel all right, because you will resent people, and they don't deserve that. And then it's an opportunity for you to, if you become resentful, it's an opportunity to be in victim mode. Oh, you see, people always take advantage of me. It's an excuse to be able to indulge in poor little me, traumatized little me. That's also a pattern and a program. You're never a victim. You just don't know about energy. How to properly exchange energy. That means it starts with giving when you truly feel like giving unconditionally without expecting something in return, because that's inauthentic. This reality doesn't like authenticity. You give unconditionally without giving in return, needing something in return. And giving is receiving, so whatever you give, others will give to you. It's a harmonious thing, and this universe is not out here to get you. It's out here to love you and make you happy and see you joyful and peacefully. You know, when you're truly in the moment, for example, I saw this wonderful comment. It was this man that said, I used to stress and worry about everything, about bills, about circumstances, life. And then he had a daughter, and then he was just enjoying life and being in the moment with his daughter a lot. And then everything just seems to come. Everything just seems to come together perfectly. Resources came. Everything was good. I think the big joke is that we pretend that we have to go out there and get things. And if we were just enjoying in the present moment, everything will be okay. That's also why when we have fun, when we go out there and enjoy life, things just come perfectly. We just enjoy the present moment. We are in gratitude, and that's a very, very strong frequency. Gratitude. Instead of looking at things that are wrong all the time, appreciate the people around you, especially. Appreciate what they have done for you, because the mind is very tricky and it will select the things they didn't do right in your eyes. And then it will create a demon out of them. Victim consciousness again. I have a lot of experience with these types of people, and the best way is to completely detach and love them from afar. Harbor no bitterness. Be in joy. Compassion. That's the key. We've created a wonderful community on the Telegram group. I love talking to you. I've talked to a few people over the days. And keep reminding each other, because all we need is to remember who we are and be in that high frequency, which is gratitude and joy and love. that will be way more transformative for the world and each other, and that's the biggest positive impact you can have. If you're in that high frequency, that trumps, how many was it? There was this number, which I don't remember, but one peaceful person, one enlightened person, negates and stabilizes 100,000 negative people or fear-based people. That's how strong this frequency game is. So this is the enormous impact. This energy thing is also why you gain attraction from people. It's not about the outer things. It's about being authentic. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. See you in the next one.